can you really build muscle without eating meat? For a long time, the fitness world basically told us, no meat, no muscle. Chicken breasts, steak, and whey protein were seen as the holy grail of gains. But what if I told you that you can build a strong, muscular physique entirely on plants? And I'm not just talking about anecdotal stories. I'm talking about solid, scientific proof. Let's get right into the biggest question, protein. It's the building block of muscle, right? When we work out, we create tiny tears in our muscle fibers. Protein comes in, repairs those tears, and makes the muscle grow back bigger and stronger. This process is called muscle protein synthesis. Now, meat is considered a complete protein because it contains all 9 essential amino acids, the ones our bodies can't produce on their own. This is the main argument people use to say plant-based diets are inferior for muscle growth. And it's true. Most individual plant foods are incomplete, meaning they're missing one or more of these essential amino acids. But here's the crucial part that often gets left out. You don't need to get all 9 essential amino acids in a single food or even in a single meal. Your body is smart. It maintains a pool of free amino acids. So as long as you eat a variety of plant-based protein sources throughout the day, your body can pull what it needs to create complete proteins. This is a concept called protein complementarity. Think of it like building with Legos. You need different shapes and sizes to build your masterpiece. One box might have a lot of red to buy 4 bricks, but not many blue 1 by 1 south. Another box might have the opposite. If you only use one box, you're limited. But if you combine bricks from both boxes, you have everything you need. That's exactly how plant proteins work. For example, beans are typically low in the amino acid methionine, but grains like rice and quinoa are rich in it. On the other hand, grains are often low in leucine, which beans have in abundance. So, what happens when you eat rice and beans? Boom! You get a complete amino acid profile, just like you would from meat. It's a classic combination for a reason. And you see this pattern all over the world. Lentils and flatbread, tofu en riz, peanut whole wheat toast. These cultures figured out protein pairing long before we had a scientific term for it. So, the incomplete protein argument is basically a myth, or at least a huge oversimplification. As long as you're eating a diverse plant-based diet, you're covered. But what about the most important amino acid for muscle growth? I'm talking about leucine. Leucine is like the spark plug that ignites muscle protein synthesis. It's the primary trigger. Research shows you need about 2 to 3 grams of leucine per meal to maximize that muscle-building signal. Animal proteins are very high in leucine, which is one reason they're so effective. So, can you get enough leucine from plants? Absolutely. You just need to be a little more strategic. Great plant-based sources of leucine include lentils, chickpeas, tofu, edamame, pumpkin seeds, and peanuts. For instance, 1.5 cups of cooked lentils gets you well over 3 grams of leucine. A block of firm tofu has about 0.5 grams. So hitting that leucine target is totally achievable. Now, let's look at the actual studies. What does the science say when we compare plant protein to animal protein head-to-head for muscle growth? A 2021 meta-analysis, which is a study of studies, published in the journal Sports Medicine, looked at this exact question. They analyzed all the available research and found no significant differences in muscle strength or mass gains between people consuming plant-based protein supplements, like soy or pea protein, and those consuming animal-based ones like whey. The key factor wasn't the source of the protein, but the total amount consumed. As long as the total daily protein intake was sufficient, the muscle-building results were the same. Another study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition compared a high-protein vegan diet to a high-protein omnivore diet in a group of young men doing resistance training. After 12 weeks, both groups gained the same amount of muscle mass and strength. Again, the conclusion was that a vegan diet can be just as effective for muscle building, provided the protein intake is adequate. So, how much protein do you actually need? The general recommendation for active individuals trying to build muscle is around, says 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So, if you weigh 70 kilograms, that's about 112 to 154 grams of protein per day. Let's break down what that could look like on a plant-based diet. For breakfast, you could have a bowl of oatmeal with a scoop of pea protein powder and some hemp seeds. That's easily 30 grams of protein. For lunch, a big salad with a full can of chickpeas, quinoa, and a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds could give you another 25 to 30 grams. For a snack, a handful of almonds and an apple. And for dinner, maybe a stir-fry with a block of firm tofu and a side of brown rice, which can easily pack 40 grams of protein. Add it all up, and you're well within that optimal range, without even trying too hard. It's about being mindful and making sure your meals are centered around protein-rich plant foods. Lentils, beans, chickpeas, tofu, tempeh, edamame, seitan, quinoa, nuts, seeds, and even high protein, vegetably all contribute. Beyond just protein, a plant-based diet has other advantages for muscle growth and recovery. Plant foods are packed with antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. Intense exercise naturally creates inflammation and oxidative stress. By eating a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, you're giving your body an army of compounds to fight that inflammation, which can help you recover faster between workouts. Faster recovery means you can train harder and more consistently, leading to better results over time. Think about it. Foods like berries, leafy greens, and beets are known to improve blood flow and reduce muscle soreness. Better blood flow means more oxygen and nutrients are delivered to your working muscles, enhancing performance and speeding up repair. Plus, many plant-based foods are rich in complex carbohydrates. Carbs are your body's primary fuel source for high-intensity exercise. They're stored in your muscles as glycogen. Having fully stocked glycogen stores allows you to lift heavier and for longer. A diet built on whole grains, potatoes, and fruits ensures you have the energy to crush your workouts. So, to wrap it all up, can you build muscle without meat? The science is clear. Yes, you absolutely can. The idea that you need meat for muscle is outdated. The key principles of muscle growth remain the same regardless of your diet. You need to be in a slight calorie surplus. You need to follow a progressive resistance training program. And you need to consume enough total protein with sufficient leucine to trigger muscle protein synthesis. by eating a variety of plant-based protein, sources like legumes, grains, nuts, and seeds. You can easily get all the essential amino acids your body needs. Focus on hitting your daily protein target, somewhere between 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight, and make sure your meals contain leucine-rich foods. The evidence from clinical trials confirms that plant-based diets are just as effective as omnivorous diets for building strength and muscle mass. Not to mention the added benefits for recovery thanks to the anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties of plant foods. So if you've been thinking about reducing your meat intake or going fully plant-based but were worried about your gains, you can put those fears to rest. The science is on your side. Focus on whole foods, train hard, and be consistent. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more science-backed fitness content. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if you're rebuilding muscle on a plant-based diet. See you in the next one.